Greetings, comrades. Okay, I hope this works because this is about the fourth time I've tried this half. Between dropping books and then the camera just shut down and everything. Fingers crossed, okay? Okay, so I'm going to get on with the second part of the February book haul. And I'm going to start with some books that have to do kind of with fairy tales, but writing and books and things like that. So the first one is a book called Storybound. Okay, nice cover on it. It's by Marissa Burt. I'm not familiar, I haven't read anything by her that I know of. It says, in the land of story, kids go to school to learn to be the perfect character, like characters in a book. A brave hero, a trusty sidekick, even the most dastardly villain. And so they wait for stories to be written just about them. But then there's an ordinary girl that finds herself written into a story, and then she finds out that there are some nefarious goings on, and she has to try and help, and that kind of stuff. So I like this. I kind of like the idea of it. It's about books and writing and characters and things like that. So we'll see. Hopefully it turns out good. The next one, and I think that's the beginning of a series too. I think there's more than one in that one. The next one is called, the series is called The Land of Stories, and this is written by Chris Colfer, Colfer. He's one of the actors on the TV show Glee, which I don't watch much TV, but apparently that's who he is. It's kind of just great cover, isn't it? One of my neighbor's kids had read this and said it was really good, and I had gotten it to read, so I started up. I'm most of the way through. I've got a little bit left to go. This is a quest story, and it's a little bit long. I think if they had to find fewer things, it might have been a little bit better, but it could just be my attention span too. Anyway, it's about these two twins. Their father died, was killed in a car accident, and their mom's kind of having a hard time financially. She's having to work double shifts, don't get to see her a whole lot, things like that. So things are a little bit rough. When before he died, one of the things they did whenever they would go to their grandmother's house, which was their father's mother, they would read to the kids from this one special book of fairy tales. His dad and his mom loved fairy tales, and so one day the grandmother comes to visit them, and she gives them the book. You know, it's kind of a sentimental value thing. She gives it to them. Well, it turns out that they end up kind of falling into the book and into the world of fairy tales and all the stories that are in the book. Now, these fairy tales are, there's Cinderella, the Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, the whole works. But they when they fall into this world of the fairy tales, they realize that the world is after the fairy tales. Like, Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella have married their Prince Charmings and such, whatever. And you can see here a picture, hopefully it'll show up, that's inside the cover here of the kingdom. There's Little Red Riding Hood Kingdom, the Northern Kingdom, the Charming Kingdom, the Sleeping Kingdom. So they have to try and collect these items that will help them get back to their world. But they're not the only ones that are looking for them. Someone in the past has looked for these items to use. It's called The Wishing Spell is the subtitle of this one, and that's the name of this volume. And also the evil queen has escaped, and she's looking for it too. So they're in trouble. Like I said, it's a fairly thick book. It's gone on. It's got, about 400 pages in it. But the writing is good, and I really like it, and it's got a great prologue. Okay, the last one in this kind of storybook kind of theme is called Finding Serendipity by Angela Banks. And it's about a young girl whose mother is a writer, and her mother disappears, so the young girl has to go into the world of stories in order to try and find her. So, being a reader, when you come across books that are about writing and things like that, they're always interesting and fascinating. Okay, these next ones are, I guess, kind of, also kind of fairy tale-ish, I guess. It's called The School of Good and Evil, and this is about two young girls, and they live in a world where there's a school. One is a school for good people, one is a school for evil people. One of them is kind of an ugly duckling, the other one's like the fair-haired girl. So they go off into the woods to go to school, and they pretty much know which school they're going to end up, they think. Doesn't happen that way. The fair-haired girl gets sent to the school of evil, and the one who was, the kind of like non-fair-haired girl gets sent to the school of good, and then they have to work things out. And I think this might be a series too, or at least more than one. But I got this. This was recommended also by my neighbor's kids, who said it was really good. And this one is called Serafina. Let's see if I can get this without. I hope I'm not getting too much glare on the covers here. The School of Good and Evil is by Somain, Soman, Chainani, Chainani. And this is Serafina, and it's by Rachel Hartman. Gosh, I really wanted to buy this book because it's got such a gorgeous cover on it, but I am not a fan of stories that have dragons in them. I usually just avoid them. But I've come across a couple of reviews by people who also don't really read stories with dragons, and they loved this book. They said it was great, and it's gotten really good reviews. It sounds interesting. In this world, dragons and humans have kind of made peace. It's kind of fragile peace, and then one of the human kings is murdered. So that kind of stirs up all kinds of stuff, and chaos ensues. This next one, also a recommendation from my neighbor's kids, is called Nightmares by Jason Segel and Kristen Miller. It's about a young boy whose nightmares begin to come out into the world. I had seen this. It's got a great cover, but I wasn't really sure about it. But my neighbor's kid said it's really good and it's not scary and it won't give me nightmares, so I decided to pick it up. The next one is Alistair Grimm's Auditorium by Gregory Funaro, Funaro. And this is a book about a young boy who is a chimney sweep, and he works at an inn, and one day there's a guest that comes who's kind of like mysterious and eccentric. Well, when the guest leaves, he kind of sneaks onto the carriage or hangs on or whatever and goes to escape from his life, which is just miserable, and go with this guest. And he ends up at this place called the Auditorium, which is kind of like houses all of these weird and fantastical things, and the people there are really eccentric, and they take him in, and he thinks he's found a home, but then he finds out that there's an attack on the place, and there are other people who want to get at these items and have them for themselves. Okay? Now, the last two books are books 2 and 3 in the Enchanted Emporium series. Now, I don't have book 1 here with me. I didn't go and get it. I've already done that in one of my Recs and Wraps for February, so you can see that. That one is the Enchanted Emporium. It's called The Suitcase of Stars. This one is number 2. It's called Compass of Dreams. You can see that there. I like the artwork on that. And the third one is called Map of the Passages. And if you're not familiar with these, they're written by P.D. Bacalario, who is Italian, and these are translations. Although these, I don't know, the setting for these is that they take place in Scotland. Now, and they're about this enchanted emporium. There's this family, one of 6 families who tend to take care of these magical items, okay? And the family that has it now, they're living there in this small village in Scotland, and they're setting up a little emporium because they trade in magical items, and which is fine. People are collectors and things like that, can buy them. It's not anything like, they're not like hoarded or kept secret or things like that, like in so many books. But there's somebody out there that wants these for himself. He wants to either destroy the Emporium or he just wants to take everything in it. So that kind of rears its ugly head a little bit in the first book, and I'm assuming that story carries on among the other stories of the books, that's the underlying and overarching story for these. But I like the first one. These are definitely, I would say, elementary grade, but I liked them. The writing is good. The artwork is really, I like a lot. I can't remember the name of the illustrator. Is Iacopo Bruno, and I like his artwork a lot. He did the illustrations, I think for Bliss, the book Bliss as well. So I enjoyed the first one, and I'm looking forward to reading these. Okay, so that's it for now. That's all of the books. There's about 25 of them, I think, total, that I got for that I got in the month of February. I'm probably not going to get to any of these this month, which I think I might have said in the earlier video. I'm mostly reading murder mysteries this month, but, some may sneak in. And then after that, I'll start in probably, at least a couple of them every month, maybe more. So anyway, that's the wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've read any of these books and you got any other recommendations or books similar to these that you really like, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, okay? Thanks for stopping by. Happy trails and happy reading.